What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit the like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into the holy mess. All right, it's been several days since this was shared with me, but I'm just getting a chance to get around to it. But Larry Reid lies from the larryreidlive YouTube channel. I was all here for this because I feel that he doesn't take anybody seriously that calls him out about stuff, but he feels that he is on some pedestal that maybe he believes God placed him on. I highly doubt that, but he loves to talk about other people. That's like what he's built his platform off of. But even with that being said, he really believes that he's famous. Like, seriously, I really believe that the dude believes he's famous. But as fame goes, I just see that Apple made him into an emoji because every time I see his face, he reminds me of that poop emoji. So this, I'll say former pastor, but I'm saying that because he says that he's not a pastor anymore. Shaneperry, he went off on Larry Reid. And I don't follow Larry Reid, so I really didn't know what he was going off about. So before I shared it and shared my thoughts on it, I wanted to find out what was it? Like, why did this guy go off on Larry Reid the way that he did? And again, like I said, I was all here for it. So I didn't really need an explanation or an excuse. I didn't need one because nothing that he was saying to me sounded like it was a lie. I agreed with pretty much everything that he was saying about the dude. But I just was interested to know, why did he go off on him? So I decided to go over to the channel to see if he had did some commentary about the guy, because like I said, that's all he does. And he mixes it in, which is one of the things that disgusts me so much about him. He mixes it in with alleged prophecy and the word of the Lord for the month of July. It's like, dude, what God are you talking about? Because I don't believe that the real, true, living God is giving you anything to give to anybody. And allegedly, the guy who now has taken back his story, and I believe he took it back because he got paid to. That's my personal opinion. Larry Peltier, who was interviewed by Official King Payne, he was interviewed by Tasha K. He divulged these things. Nobody pulled it out of him or made him say anything that he said. He alleged that Larry Reid gave him the package, the house in Virginia, the high five. That's what he said. He said that Larry Reid was screwing him. He said that Larry Reid was paying him. And he said that when he went to pee in Larry Reid's bathroom, he saw the medications for the high five. That's what he said. So I'm sorry. I don't believe that a man that is going around giving guys willingly, because I don't believe that he is raping these grown men, but there are allegations about him doing things to people when they were underage. And if the person said that he did that and he was in this man's church as a member, I believe that guy. I don't think that he's lying about that. I don't. That's my right to believe what someone says. So I'm sorry. I don't believe that this man that's going around giving all these men penis, God is giving him anything to give to people, period. So anyway, I decided to go and find out what was it that was said that set this guy off. So let's just go ahead and get into what he said that set the guy off. And then we're going to get into what the guy said to and about Larry Reid.
Let's watch this video about Shaneperry. It's a video that he put up. First, let me say this. He posted something on his story. And on his story, he basically was saying that he escaped and left the country. It's pretty vague, but it sounds like he called the cops for something that somebody else was doing. And then the cops turned on him and locked him up. But they locked him up because of some kind of mental something that was happening, to where he was in a hospital, like the psych ward or the mental floor, however.
Pausing it for a minute. It's so ironic that Larry Reid is talking about anybody mental, because to me, I think a man who claims that he has willingly had sex with other men but doesn't proclaim to be gay has a mental issue. I do.
That, with the help of a nurse, memory serves me correct, left there, hopped on a plane, first class to Puerto Rico to retire and never come back. So that was the post, and it had everybody like, what the hell is going on? And he was cussing and sticking up his middle finger. So, like, for all the black churches that this white preacher has preached in, all these black people like, okay, now you cussing and sticking the middle finger. Oh my God, you have left God. You're out of your whole mind.
And that's the hypocrite thing for me, the hypocrisy of it all. These same people that follow this weirdo, Larry Reid, give money to him allegedly, follow him, listening to these fake prophecies, they know that this man has sex with men. That's okay. But oh my God, this white man who has been preaching has been saying profanity and sticking up his middle finger. Are you kidding me?
That was whatever I was thinking. I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I've said some of it in my captions when posting his content, but I'm going to give my official what I think. But first, let's look at the video that he put out today. Let's look at it together.
So I'm not going to play that video because it's just the guy, Shaneperry, just talking about himself. And
this ain't fake. This is me, Dr. Shaneperry Sr. Holla at your boy. We free. Retired in Puerto Rico. Peace.
All right. Okay, this is very interesting, and I want to have this conversation quickly because I got to come live. I'm going to be back here live. It's the first of the month, so the last 2 months we've been coming live with my team and just discussing the word of the Lord for the month and forward.
The word of the Lord for the month and forward. Get up out of here.
Let me say this. There's a few things that he's saying that is concerning, but before I say that, I want to say this. Deconstruction and decolonization in your faith is excruciating mental and emotional spiritual pain, especially if you're doing it without a teacher, without a personal prophet, and also a therapist. You need a psychotherapist, possibly a psychologist and counselor, as well as your spiritual counselors and coaches and your prophets when you're going through that process. Because you are emptying out what you have believed that you embraced and did not inspect, that you embraced and did not study. So I'm making this statement before I go into what he said because I believe that Shaneperry is experiencing decolonization and deconstruction. And for him as a white man, it's going to be very interesting because he has to lay down his white privilege. He has to confess that he used Black people and their naivety to make a living, because he should have never been preaching to Black people. Now, I know you guys are not going to agree with me when I make this statement, but I'm not taking it back. I do not believe Black people should be in white-led churches unless at the decision-making level, there is black people there. I don't care if you're gay or a woman, same thing for whatever church that you are in. You must have representation in the decision-making, or you are in an American situation like us as black people we're in. We don't have representation at the top.
So, stopping right there, he's talking about taking advantage of black people. It's not okay for white people, Asians, Hispanics, the Jays, Arabs, whatever, to take advantage of black people. But you know what I find even more vile and disgusting is when somebody that you think is your own takes advantage of black people. And let's be clear, the majority, a good majority of these black churches, like this nigga here who's talking about this Shane Perry guy, take advantage of black people every single time they speak and meet with their followers, the congregation, the sheep, the flock, whatever they call them. Because it is so much dishonesty on so many levels in a lot of these churches. And I'm not saying that there's all. I didn't say all. I said a lot. From TD Jakes to this fake. Yeah. Because a lot of them, they get wrapped up in their emotions, and a lot of them do need. A lot of them are financially strapped. A lot of them did not come from a household where they had means. A lot of them did not have common sense or education. So they get wrapped up in the feelings and the emotions, and like what people thought was free was going to church. And a lot of them got robbed, financially stripped, because of the emotions that come from the pulpit and these pulpit pimps like this nigga who has taken his fraud to the internet to get these people who love the gossip and the tea, but also allegedly love the Lord. And so they will give some fool like this their money because they can sit and listen to the gossip and tea and think that it's okay because it's coming from somebody like this who claims that they're a prophet and they're getting the word of the Lord. So it's like, not only am I going to give you the tea and the gossip about what's going on in the church, also, if you sow $888 a month or $888 or $8,088 or whatever it is that you sow unto the ministry, then he has a word of the Lord for you, and you think that that actually means something. You can speak over yourself and get a greater prophecy than this fool could give you. But I digress. The hypocrisy of him talking about Shane Perry taking advantage of black people. Get up out of here.
So you shouldn't do that. Now, that's going to be difficult to explain. And instead of him waiting to be clear, he's speaking while he's cloudy. It's the same thing Bishop Carlton Pearson did, who he looked back and he saw that he said it. He said, I should have never talked about what was happening, the decolonization and deconstruction that was happening in my faith. I was not ready. I was talking to my church by this time, but I wasn't ready to stand with the bishops. And this caused him to be blackballed. He's moving with the same naivety. Except for him, it's really stupid. Carlton was the first, but he's been able to communicate with Carlton. Let me share this. He consistently communicated with Carlton Pearson. I would have never shared that if Carlton was alive, but what the hell he gone? He consistently stayed in communication with Bishop Carlton Pearson. He is not lying about what he saw theologically. This has been going on for years. However, he made a decision to get the bag. So that needs to be a conversation so that we can get very clear. In 2020, he was on my platform, not to be interviewed, but I discussed him because when he broke up from his wife, he done it in a very proper way. And I talked about it, how they handled it in social media. I said it was smart. And I knew then what I'm discussing with you now about him going through his process. He's moving very erratic. For me, I believe, this is my belief, could be wrong, that he has some kind of addiction that is at work. Probably alcohol, like his brother Wes Morgan. And y'all know Bishop Noel Jones loves a drink. And this is alleged information that he spent a lot of time at Bishop Noel Jones' space and place and house. So I can believe that there's some alcoholism or some drinking that's going on that is contributing to this mental break. And I say that because of decolonization and deconstruction, mental break that is happening. You mix all of that together, you end up with the white man sticking up his middle finger, cussing for the first time, like we supposed to see it as real regular when we only see you prophesying and preaching. That's dumb as hell.
So that is a lot of what he had to say about Shane Perry, and that pissed him off. Now, he said a little bit more. If you want to go and listen to whatever else he had to say, you can go over to listen to the bull crap. But let's go ahead and get into what Shane Perry had to say in response to Larry Reid.
Look, I look crazy right now. I'm getting ready to jump in the shower. My boy just sent me a link from larryreidlive, whatever the hell that shit is. Listen, man. I was going to give you an opportunity to tell the story, but I guess you want to jump the gun and put a narrative together that ain't even fucking true. So listen, you don't want to fuck with me, Larry Reid. I know you're half gay ass. You don't even know me, motherfucker. So spend your little stupid little, you run around talking about people. I can't stand that gay, fake ass energy in the church. So you can get the fuck on. You dead to me. So take my shit down or I'm going to start lighting your ass up. I got lawyers that, okay, I got you. Take my shit down right now. I gave you an opportunity. You want to spin your own narrative. Fuck you too. This shit is hilarious to me. I'm getting ready to go over to another hotel. I just did a little Airbnb because I had a pool last night, but we got something great we're doing for the 4th of July here in the community. But listen, I'm thinking about Larry Reid, and I remembered how he little man me. The first time he sent me a message, he was like, I'm not familiar with your ministry, but blah, blah, blah. Man, listen to me. You're a fucking plebe. A plebe is the lowest ranking person in the Roman army. I'm a fucking field general, man. Fucking Google me, motherfucker. I don't sit up talking about other people to try to get views. You're so fucking lame. Get a fucking real job and be a man. Oh, my bad. You a gay ass, lame ass, bitch ass motherfucker. My bad. Fuck you.
Well, tell us how you really feel. And he did. Listen, all I can say, the things that this guy said, he was directly responding to Larry Reid about the things that he was saying about him. And then if you caught the little part where Shane Perry says, one time Larry Reid reached out to him and he was like, I'm not really familiar with your ministry, but I believe that, because the thing about Larry Reid that I detect is that he was never that dude. He was never that dude before he got into the church world. And then when he got into the church world, he was never that dude, but he tried to be. And the little area that he was able to carve out for himself in the little hick town in North Carolina that he started church and got these people that, for whatever reason, found him to be interesting, thought that he had some anointing on his life and got in this cult, because that's what I believe it was, my personal opinion. He felt that he should be more. So him getting onto the internet to do what he does, like he does, and he's been able to gain a following. I do believe that he used gossip, used connecting with people like, in the past, Tosh K, T.S. Madison, Armand Wiggins, everybody that he's connected himself to over these years has been to help to elevate his in terms of the views that he's been getting from other people. I don't care what anyone says, or even what he says about Tasha K. He knows what he was doing when he connected with her. He knew it. He knew it. He knew that would get him in front of way more people than he ever was able to get in front of, talking about the type of stuff that he talks about in the church world, because that's not what Tasha K did. So with that being said, when Shane Perry says that Larry Reid, when he reached out to him, was like, I'm not really familiar with the church. He was familiar with him. But Larry Reid harbors, in my personal opinion, jealousy and resentment for those who have been either in ministry via preaching, teaching, or maybe even singing, who have gotten some sort of recognition, a little bit of fame, celebrity, or whatever. And so the closest he's been able to do is connecting with that fraud, Bishop Bernard Jordan, who used to be on BET at 1, 2, 3 in the morning doing these prophecy hours, having people that would probably fake people calling in and giving them prophecies. And then his son, Bishop Bernard Jordan's son, who got into that telemarketing, not really telemarketing, but it was a robocall scam, got sued, all of that good stuff for getting people's numbers and calling them with these robocalls over and over and over and over and over again. And then Larry Reid, during the swallowed up Diddy Party, TD Jakes fiasco, he was doing these videos alluding to the fact that TD Jakes groomed and possibly did some other things to Bishop Bernard Jordan's son, Manasseh Jordan. And we talked about that a little bit over here as well. Again, to prop himself up and elevate himself to get more eyes on him, but also jealous of TD Jakes. Not that I care for TD Jakes either, but jealous because he has been able to amass this large following and this large platform. Larry Reid would love to be where TD Jakes is. He would love to be where TD Jakes is, okay? Trust and believe that, if you believe nothing else. But I don't blame this guy for responding to Larry Reid, because if you heard the things that Larry Reid said, he was alluding to Shane Perry having a mental disorder because of him being a white man who was preaching, and mainly in churches that were predominantly attended by Black people. And because he has denounced that, what he used to do before, and following what he used to follow the way he used to follow it now, alluding to this man being mentally disturbed. And so Shane Perry, he was calling him out. It's like, listen, you're gay. He didn't say it in these words, of course, but he was like, you're gay. If how dare you call me mentally disturbed when you are a gay man that refuses to admit it, and you don't believe in labels, and you're supposedly a prophet, and you're supposedly preaching and having the word of the Lord, but yet you're around here slipping and tipping your schlong into these men, multiples of them. And then when these people come out to bust you about it, you always got some elaborate story as to why they're doing what they're doing. No, you're the one that's mentally disturbed. Shane Perry, in my personal opinion, he's just following what he feels in terms of his beliefs about being a preacher, God, Jesus, all that stuff. That's his personal walk. What Larry Reid is doing, in my personal opinion, is way more destructive than anything Shane Perry has done, because Larry Reid continues to grift off of predominantly women and maybe a few gay men. I don't know any straight men that follow Larry Reid and follow him in a way where they feel like he is believable, a prophet, a man of God. I don't. Not at all. Like attracts like. So he attracts foolish women and gay men. That's it. Okay? So I was here for it. So Claps to Shane Perry. Let them know how you really feel. So, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. You can let me know yours in the comments. Thanks so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.